Sun's up, flamingos awake. So, first week is done, just ended a shift. I'm walking back to my room. What was the first week like at PH? I enjoyed it a lot. 3 times I dealt the last table until it broke. The first night, it didn't break. New dealers showed up at 9 a.m. and I was still dealing. I got pushed out of the table by a new dealer, so that was awesome. Today, which is the 5th day for me, and yesterday the 4th day for me, didn't go quite as late, but it was solid, and love doing that, locking in, we call it, just one dealer, one table, and that's it. If I need a break for a few minutes, I ask the floor to deal a few hands. First of all, gotta give some shout outs, because I already said on the first night, William, Clubs, and Rich were in the room. Rich was there specifically because it was my first shift. He changed his schedule around to be there, and he was one of the reasons that table went all night. So big thanks to Rich. Other people I met later in the week, Griffin. Griffin started a conversation, a debate really, with the 6th seat, which lasted the entire 30 minutes I was at the table, about spoons versus forks with rice and some other foods. I met Walker. Thanks for the gift, Walker. Met Gary. Congrats on the Full House promotion, Gary, and thanks for the tip. Met Saul from Iowa. All the time I spend in Iowa. Didn't meet Saul in Iowa, but met him here in Vegas. A guy whose name might be Ken. I was done one day. I was walking through Bally's on the way back to my room. Stopped to talk to the cashier in Bally's, and someone told me he's been watching the videos for a while. And his name might have been Ken, I don't know. He didn't tell me his name, but there was a Ken on the board, and the Ken came off the board when he took his seat, so his name might have been Ken. I'm probably missing people. I have a list back in my room, but it's not in front of me right now because I'm not in my room. But anyway, yeah, the hours were solid. Actually, today, I walked in and there were so many tables going, which was weird. I didn't expect that on the Tuesday of all days. 5 cash games were going, 2 tables for the daily tournament, the 10 p.m. tournament, and the chainsaw, the Alan Kessler mixed game series. Today or yesterday was the Omaha 8 Stud 8 tournament. That was down to 2 tables, 13 players when I walked in, and pretty quickly got to the final table. And yeah, yesterday and today I dealt the final table. Yesterday was Omaha 8, and today, what I call today, my shift that just ended, I dealt Omaha 8 Stud 8. Haven't dealt Stud 8 in like 10.5 months. After the first hand, I was in the rhythm. I got back into it. Actually, the same player won both tournaments, by the way. The first tournament of this mixed game series, the Omaha 8, and the second tournament, officially made a deal on the second tournament, the Omaha 8 Stud 8, but he got more money and the trophy and the first place officially. So, same guy won both. Yeah, so dealing some nightly tournaments, dealing some cash, dealing some mixed games. Good practice for Orleans, which is coming up in about 2 weeks. What else is going on? Haven't seen anything but 1-3 No Limit go. I did check Bravo that first day. I know 2-3 No Limit was going, and someone told me one day that 1-1 PLO was going also. I wasn't there while that was happening, but I heard it was happening. We actually had a list tonight, pretty good list for 2-3 No Limit, but it never ran. There was another day, a 1-3 No Limit table was going, and all but one player, they were willing to turn it into 2-3, but it didn't happen. Met Edward again, giving him a shout out. Also, Busy was in the room, giving him a shout out. Matt Lander from Europe, one of the few people who follows me on Twitter. Not a ton of people. I don't even do much on Twitter, but a few people follow me on Twitter. He was in the room tonight, so yeah. Late shift has been interesting. It's been helping me that even though occasionally there are people scheduled for midnight and 1 a.m., they haven't really been showing up. So when I show up at 11, I'm the last person to start for the day, which means I get to deal that last table that runs. Either it breaks or 9 a.m. shows up, whichever happens first. That's when I stop dealing. That's when I'm off the clock. So, yeah, been enjoying it. And this week might be a little slow. It's not the new opening. Also, it's EDC weekend. So many rooms in town are going to be used by people in town for the music festival. So not a ton of people in town for that reason. Also, if you're into poker, you're probably coming into town at the end of May or a few weeks later than that for the World Series of Poker time. So not the busiest time of year, like mid-May for poker, but we'll see what it's like. But after that, then the Orleans is starting, so I'm working 2 jobs, and also May 27th, first day of the Mystery Millions event at the World Series of Poker. So this week might be a little slow. I'm off the next 2 days. Worked the last 5. I'm off these 2. Then I'll be working the next 5 after that. But we'll see what's going on this second week. But gotta crack my shoulder. First week is done. Dealt a hand today. I think it was like $20 pre-flop. I think there was a check raise to 75 on the flop, a bet of about 120 on the turn, and then all in for about 550 effective on the river. And the guy who was calling the entire way thought about it for a while on the river, and then ended up calling with 4th pair, and he was good. That's some classic Planet Hollywood poker. So yeah, that might have been the biggest hand I dealt all week, but seeing plenty of hands like that, plenty of pre-flop raises to 25 plus. There was another night, a guy made it 200 pre. I think there was a raise to 10, and then a 3-bet to $200. The guy who made it 200 had king 9 off, and the guy who raised to 10 and then flatted the 200 had ace 10 offsuit. So yeah, these things don't happen in every room in town, but they've been happening in Planet Hollywood. So anything else? Oh, the high hand promo is great. It's great for the players, great for the dealers, because you get down to 1 table and it's $100 every 30 minutes with rollovers. It goes all day. The one at Bally's ends at 3 a.m. This one goes all night. So you get down to the last table and there's not so many hands being played. You know, you're the only table in the room, and it rolls over a lot. Today was actually an interesting day. Full houses were being hit in my last couple hours, like non-stop. There were not many rollovers, but yesterday it got up to $700. I think on the first day it got up to 500. I think there was another day it kept rolling over to 500. So great for the players, because you're playing in a fun late night game in Planet Hollywood, and if you happen to hit a full house, it's probably going to hold up for that 30-minute period, and you're going to win somewhere between like $100 and $700. Also great for me, because that makes that last game of the night, it makes that game last for a while. Without that, probably wouldn't have dealt last night as long as I did. Probably this night was weird because it wasn't really rolling over. People are hitting full houses all over the place. Maybe that first night game didn't go till 9 a.m. if there was no rollover, or if it ended at a certain time. So that's really cool. It does go all day, but you know, I show up at 11, so I experience what it's like between 11 and early morning. Like now, you can see how bright it is here. So yeah, just enjoyed the first week. Once Orleans starts, I have some segments involved, like checking the paychecks every once in a while, just telling you my hours to the minute and my money to the exact dollar and things like that. Have some segments. You know, I keep track of things when I'm playing. I keep track of some things while I'm dealing. So I have some things in mind, and when Orleans starts, probably start doing those. But this was just kind of an update. Week 1 is done. I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now that it's after midnight, it is Wednesday. Worked the first 5 days of PH, having a great time there, and I'll see everyone in the next video. And Tony from Hawaii, he was in the room multiple times. I think that's all the shout outs to everyone I met in the Planet Hollywood Poker Room this first week. And remember, rice is a spoon food.